Hello, beautiful humans. This is Dayelene and Jules from the Empowering Women Project, and you're listening to the EWP podcast.
This podcast is for the women who know deep in their soul they are here for more. If you are done with the BS stories and limiting beliefs that are holding you back from your dreams becoming a reality,
come jump in the driver's seat and pave the way back home to her. This is a space for you to feel seen, heard, supported, and accepted for who you are, who you were, and who you're becoming.
Celebrating you wherever you are in your journey. Sit back, grab a tea or a wine, and come empower yourself with us. Jules and Day, let's grow. Hello and welcome back to the EWP.
Hello, beautiful humans.
Good morning. Today we are welcomed by Loren Finger, and Loren is the CEO of TLC for Working Moms.
Hi, how are you guys?
We are so well. So good to have you on.
Thank you. It's so good to be here.
We are so excited to have you on, Loren, and just chat all of the things today. Thank you for coming on and collaborating with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Can you start by telling us a little bit about you? Who are you?
Who am I? Is that the question? So I am a certified career and life coach for mums. As you said, I'm the CEO and founder of TLC for Working Mums and also host of TLC for Working Mums podcast. Of course, I'm also a working mum to two miracle fertility babies, and I essentially help mums find and land a career that they love. And before I became a certified career and life coach and started my own business, I worked in executive recruitment in New York City. I worked as an ex-lawyer and also as CEO of a not-for-profit. So I've had many successful career changes of my own and seen that job market from both like being an employee, getting hired, and then also as a recruiter behind the scenes and, you know, as a hiring manager. So that is truly my mission in life.
Wow, how rewarding. Literally.
I absolutely love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boss babe.
So are you guys.
Absolutely. Oh, yes, we are. Tap into New York City. That sparked my interest, actually. I was like, oh, NYC.
Sure. When I finished university, I had gotten a job as a lawyer, you know, graduate lawyer in one of the top tier firms in Sydney. And I said to them, can I defer it for a year because I wanted to live in New York City. I had just always wanted to live there. Like I had been there once or twice on holiday when I was younger, but just the electricity of the city was just lit something under me. And so I went there, moved there, didn't have a job, an apartment, anything. So I had to like get the job, get the apartment, and like if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. That's what they say. And it just had the best time. And then I actually ended up staying there for 2 years. I met my husband there actually, but conveniently he's from Sydney, Australia originally. So that was good. Yeah, it was just the best time.
Wow, how cool that New York City and then you met and you were both from Sydney.
We actually went to the same school as well, but I was in year 3 when he was in year 7. So it would have been like different kind of areas of the campus, but it's pretty crazy. Like when you're meant to meet, you're meant to meet, right?
Oh, full body goosebumps already. That's insane. That's beautiful.
Literally meant to be. I did my master's in Buffalo, New York, actually.
Oh, wow. And you loved it?
I did. I loved it. I would cross the border from Canada to America every, the 2 days a week that I went. And it was such a vibe there.
Yeah. New York City is just, it's like a petri dish of Manhattan especially is like this petri dish of the entire world condensed into like this tiny city. Yeah.
What brought you back to Australia?
Well, so I had the job waiting for me as a lawyer, and I was working in executive recruitment in New York, loved it, learned all about business, learned all about recruitment, but I had studied law and I was like, I should give that a go as well. So I had that job waiting for me, and then also my family. And I'm, really close with them. And so I knew that when I wanted to raise a family, I wanted to be around mine if possible.
Yeah. Oh, how beautiful. And how many kiddies do you have?
I have 2 beautiful kids. One just turned 5, my girl, and my boy is 2.
Oh, beautiful.
They're very,
Now, you mentioned they were miracle babies. Can you talk to me about that? Talk to us about that?
so they're both fertility babies. I went through IVF with my boy, and I went through IUI with my girl, which is kind of like the step before IVF. Basically, it's a very not long story, but I mean, I guess it is. But my fertility journey didn't just start from when like my husband and I started trying to have the kids. I actually was told basically by a doctor when I was 15 that I might not be able to have children. I had some medical issues, and I had so much anxiety about it, and so much, you know, like all I wanted to do in my life, like of course I want to have this amazing career, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to have a family. I wanted to have children. I never knew if it was possible. So it all came to a head when, my husband and I, we couldn't just like try fun like everyone else. Like we had to go from like 0 to 100. We had to go straight to a fertility clinic when we were ready to have children. And I never knew if I could actually have children. And so each round of fertility treatment that we had and failed cycles, especially obviously with my first, was like, I don't know if this is going to happen. And then when we discovered that we were pregnant, like actually a nurse called me because they do your blood tests. You don't actually do a pregnancy test because you can get a false positive. And she called me, and I still remember the moment she called me, where I was. I was in corporate at that time as a legal counsel. I ran into an office, and she called, and I thought it was just going to be another, sorry, you're not pregnant, because I had many of those calls. And she was like, she asked me for my date of birth, and she had never asked me for my date of birth before. And I was like, oh, that's weird. So I like said my date of birth. She goes, I want to tell you that you're pregnant. And like, I just remember like I like screamed, cried. I don't even know that emotion that came out of me. And I just could not believe it. And then I remember running like to the Westfield so I could call my husband to tell him, because I couldn't contain myself. And because he was like, I don't know, he was traveling in Melbourne for work. And I remember I called him, and I'm like, can you speak now? He's like, no, I'm about to go into a meeting. I'm like, I have to talk to you now. He's like, what? He's like walking in with people. I'm like, I'm pregnant. He's like, yeah, right. Like he did not.
Aww.
I'm like, no, why would I lie about this? Oh my God. It was just such a, oh my gosh, like the best moment ever.
I love seeing your eyes light up, like when you're talking about that story. It's so beautiful, honestly. Like,
Thank you. Yeah, I still like feel like get choked up. Like I just feel so blessed that I could be able to, have my own children. And so I remember the first trimester, I was so sick, vomiting all the time, so nauseous. And I remember calling my husband on the way home from work. I'm like, if I get an Uber, I'm going to vomit. If I walk home, I'm going to vomit. But I'm just so happy. I'm like crying. So it was just like every weird thing in pregnancy, I was just marveled at it. I saw it from a very different perspective, I guess.
oh, how beautiful. Well, how did you navigate like from 15, obviously being told that you maybe could not have babies, to then going through the process? Did you have many, I guess, failed attempts at falling pregnant before you did? Yeah.
Yeah, so we tried ovulation induction, which didn't work, and then we tried IUI. I was very fortunate that it took us, like, from when we started fertility treatment with my first, it took us only, but like 5 months of fertility treatment, which was not huge in the scheme of things. I think for me, the whole piece of having that, 15 years of anxiety of like not knowing if I could fall pregnant, I think that, I wish like a doctor could have told me then, look, we just need to put you on some drugs and you'll be able to fall pregnant and you'll be fine. And like, I believe that, but they never told me that. They were like, look, it might not work. You don't like, there was medical things. And so, but it's made me the person I am today for sure. And like turning that pain into purpose. And when I was working as CEO, I was working actually for a not-for-profit that helps couples that are struggling with infertility. And so it really, and I've been able to try and help as many people as possible and soon to be mums as possible through that journey, because it is just like, it's a lot. It's a lot of not only that like stigma attached to not being able to fall pregnant easily, but it's also that sense of like shame and guilt that like you've done something wrong. Like I think that was a big thing for me. Like I felt like it was me that was the issue, and it's just like very hard to kind of move forward from that mindset, obviously.
Mm. How did you navigate like it emotionally? Obviously, did you have some support? Like, did you have a coach or a mentor? Or
Before I discovered like life coaching, I wish I discovered it before, because I would have had like what I teach my clients now, what I learned after that was like how important it is to have the tools to manage your mindset. I think for me, I got through it in the sense that my husband, he's like opposite, like he never gets anxious. He was like, we're gonna have kids, like he wasn't stressed. And I think being able to, at first I'm like, you're not taking this seriously, but it was more like, thank God he had that kind of mentality,
yeah,
because it was like the strength that we needed to go through it. And then my family, my parents have always been so super supportive. Like my dad's a doctor, so he used to come with me to all the doctor's appointments when I was younger, when they were telling me all the stuff. And yeah, just I think support of family, my husband, was what helped me get through it. And also knowing that like I will have a child one day in some way, shape, or form. Like I just something in myself, like I knew that it could happen. So
yeah.
yeah.
It's such a beautiful story. And you should be really proud of yourself just for all that you've navigated, and how you leaned on your support systems, because I just couldn't begin to imagine what that would be like. I've never been in that position myself. So, I can only listen to your words and those of a few of my friends who are experiencing very similar to yourself. And yeah, just send so much love and compassion your way.
Thank you. Thank you. I like if anyone is listening to this and they are like maybe struggling with it, one thing that helped was actually not looking as much on social media. Like I remember actually stopping, like not looking at Facebook for years, because all I would see was, people with pregnancy announcements or babies. And I've been very conscious of that. I like rarely post of my kids, like with my kids and celebration of like birthdays or whatever, especially before I started my business, because I'm very conscious of like how hard it is for others to see that sometimes. But then on the flip side, like I think everyone, if there's someone in your life that's struggling with infertility, I think it's so hard to some people struggle to know what to say. But one of my friends, I remember she said something like, I don't know what you're going through, but I'm there for you. And I really loved that. So, that's something that helps as well.
Yeah. Amen. Sisterhood is so important. Hey.
So important for sure.
For sure. And they don't even people don't even need to fully understand. It's just them being able to see you in all that you are and all that you're going through, and just be there for you. That's really all us women. That's what we need. We just need sisterhood.
Yeah. Holding the space.
For sure. And not being like trying to kind of, because often what we do to connect us with someone is we then share our experience to try help them with their experiences. But sometimes that can, not serve that person as well as just being like, I'm here for you. Like, I know it's shit, give me tell me everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Amen.
Yeah. Or even just asking, how can I support you in this moment? What do you need? Because sometimes, you do want to hear a relatable experience. Sometimes you just want someone to say, I see you, I hear you, I'm here, let's go for a coffee, or I'm just like a listening ear, or a shoulder to cry on. So yeah. Well, sending you so much love, Loren, for all that you've navigated and your bravery for sharing that with all of our listeners today. I can guarantee you that is going to help a lot of women.
Amen.
Yeah. So talk to us. So you've got the TLC for working moms. So how did that come about? You went from being a lawyer to, being a CEO and founder. I can't say that word today. CEO and founder of your own business. So what happened?
So I worked as a lawyer quite a few years ago, and then I moved across to the not-for-profit space as CEO of the not-for-profit in the not-for-profit when just after I had my first child. I had a big kind of career change because I wanted to do something that was purposeful work-wise. And I did enjoy my job as a lawyer and I was like good at it, but I didn't feel that it was like that meaningful work that I really wanted. And it becomes so important when you become a mom, something in us shifts, I think. And if we're going to spend time away from our kids, we want to do something that means something that we feel is purposeful, that we feel we're, contributing to society in a really positive way. And so I actually started my business after I had my second child. I had come back from maternity leave. At that point, I was CEO of the not-for-profit, and it just was completely unsustainable. And so I had found something I was really passionate about, like in terms of the cause, but at the same time, it was completely unsustainable. So I ended up leaving, and I felt completely lost because, here I am, someone that like didn't know if she could have children. She's got a beautiful boy, a beautiful girl. And I realized that like I had put so much, I validated my self-worth and I put so much of myself into my work and career, and not knowing what to do next career-wise was like that feeling of like, I want of my own identity, and I couldn't really figure that out. So I tried to, look around to see how could mums make that successful career change. I wanted to see if there was any roadmaps or frameworks out there. And I was really surprised that like I didn't really see anything that was like for mums. And when I was speaking to other mums, I realized like every single mum I spoke to, either the work they did before they had children was no longer sustainable or it was no longer fulfilling. And they were also feeling this like lost, stuck, overwhelmed, confused, like wanting to create their own identity now that they're mothers, like have the mother identity, but also have their own new identity. And so I was like, there's that quote, be the change you want to see in the world. So I was like, okay, all of my experience in recruitment, in not-for-profit, in corporate, like, and then also I did a career coach certification and a life coach certification. And I was like, all of this, I kind of put together and created this framework that I helped myself like get through, to find a career that I absolutely love, and then help many clients, mums now go through that as well. So that's how it was born, the business. So yeah.
How beautiful. And it's so funny. Julia and I are kind of both in this exact moment, and it's like we both have beautiful jobs and they pay well and all the rest of it, but it's like there's something like yearning inside of us. It's like we want to do something like, like giving back to society, which Jules actually really does. She's a teacher. So but I definitely don't feel like my job is fulfilling. So you saying all this is like, oh my God, I just feel so seen right now. So thank you for sharing that, and how beautiful. But it's so true. Something activates inside of you when you become a mom. I swear to God. And yeah, your life is different. Like your identity is different, but yeah, it's just so beautiful.
I always say our new identity is as old as our oldest child. So it's still very young for a lot of us. Like it's still in that infancy years. So we need to be like kind to ourselves that new identity is still blossoming. We're still we're still learning about it. I think a lot of mums, when they come see me, they're like, I don't know what my passions are. I don't know what my interests are. I don't really know what I want to do. And I'm like, that's okay. Like that's now we're going to do that internal exploration to discover like what you actually really want. So.
And I guess the values around what you want in your life as well. Like if you want to be working from your laptop and you wanted to be traveling more, I think that's one of my major goals. Do you work with women like that as well, that are like wanting a bit more flexibility with schedule and, all of the rest of it, to work around the kids and be a present mom?
100%. Like one of the exercises, like, so before you do anything, I think the important thing is to work on mindset, and then there's internal exploration. And within that, it's like, we need to understand what are our personal values, what are our priorities now, and not to say that it's going to be like that in 20 years time. It's like, what are they now? What's important for you now? What's that work environment ideal work environment that you actually want? Because we can create a beautiful career, but we want to first understand what we truly want from our career, like what's important.
Yeah. Amen. Yeah. How beautiful.
And it's so true. Like if you're passionate about something, that saying, that if you what is it, if you love your job, you're never really
Yeah.
working a day in your
Yeah.
life. And I find that so true. Like, I absolutely love teaching, but I knew I wanted more than just that, and I knew I wanted to branch out into healing women and supporting women and helping women. But we were talking about this in our last collaboration, and it's kind of like everything that we do in our life is not a mistake, and it leads us to where we are today. So all of that experience as an early childhood educator and a teacher is preparing me to be able to be a mentor and to work one-to-one with women, to work in groups with women, to heal women, to have a podcast. So yeah, and when you're that passionate about it all, it's fun, you know, it's not really work.
And I always tell my clients, because a lot of the mums that come see me, like they want to change careers and they're like, I don't want to start from scratch. I'm like, you are never starting from scratch. You have got an amazing toolbox filled with amazing, qualities and skills and so many things that you have you have developed over time, that you're not going to just drop them. Like that is your uniqueness that you'll bring into any new role you have.
Amen. And even just the journey of being a mom.
The hardest job you'll ever have, or anyone will ever have. And so it's such a shame in a way that so many mums want to return to the workforce or want to change careers after they have kids and they've lost a lot of confidence. And it's a shame because we have just done the most miraculous thing. We've created a child and raised a human. It's amazing.
We've kept it alive.
Kept ourselves alive, kept it alive. It's miraculous.
But isn't it beautiful that we still want to pursue our passions? Mom life is like a full-time job within itself or more. I think it's equivalent to 2.5 full-time jobs or something, I've heard statistically. And then we are still got this yearning to help other people. And isn't that just the most beautiful thing in the whole entire world? Divine feminine, wanting to give back to their community, but also wanting to be a present mom as well. I just think we are just magical. Honestly, women are just magical.
It's so true. Wanting to having those career aspirations or wanting to give back in that way. I think that it's not mutually exclusive. You can't, it's not just you can have a great career or be a great mum. I think they both come hand in hand. I think they complement each other. I know for myself, and I'm sure with you guys, I know I'm a better mum for pursuing something that I find is purposeful and doing work that I really love. Being able to have those, I know I can show up as a better mum because of that. Yeah.
And you're demonstrating
what you love is so important.
Yeah, amen. And you're demonstrating to your children as well to chase your dreams and chase the things that you love and that light up your soul. So yeah, monkey see, monkey do.
Exactly. They learn by by seeing what you do, not by what you tell them. So if you're saying to your kids, chase your dreams, you can do anything, and then you're not doing what you truly want. It's hard. Yeah.
Amen.
Women are fabulous. Can we just take a moment for all of our listeners, for all the women out there, celebrating you?
Amen, honeys. Honestly, we birth children and keep them alive. Just that within itself.
Exactly.
It's just crazy when you think about it. Hey, wow. We the best.
I don't know if it's as you're getting older, things just dawn on you more, just how limited time can be, and just I don't know, even our time with our children and seeing them go through their stages, and then I'm in this grieving process of my children growing up now, and I'm just you reflect on how fast time goes and how much time we actually waste pondering on chasing our dreams and pursuing things. So yeah, but I believe that everything does happen in perfect divine timing, but sometimes I think our mindset can definitely hold us back a lot.
100%. It's there's this quote I love. It's where your where your mind goes, your life will follow.
Yes. Yeah, amen.
That's
we love
so
quotes
on brand.
over here. Yes. I love the quotes you're throwing in. We throw quotes in every day. Every podcast. Sorry.
I love my quote.
Well, while we're on quotes, do you have any good book recommendations? Because Dayelene loves the book. So
I love oh my gosh, I'm just getting mind blank. I forgot the guy's name. Um, oh my gosh, what's his name? Joe,
Joe Dispenza.
Joe Dispenza?
Yes, Joe Dispenza. I can't believe I just had like a stone in my
That's
head.
my OG books.
Have you read that one? Yes.
He's got many, but
The
Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself.
Yes, that one.
Yeah,
Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself.
Oh, you're meant to be here at this moment.
I love that one. I love I love Brene Brown, of course.
Yeah.
I've just listened to her audiobook called Atlas of the Heart,
Oh.
and it's all about different feelings. And in my coaching work, so much of what I do, like I want to understand, like, because our thoughts create our feelings. It's like, so how do you feel? And so and I've also been like this. We're so shut off with how we feel in our bodies. We're very much all in our heads. Like, so especially mums that are like highly ambitious that, come see me.
600 tabs are open in there.
Yeah, more, it's crazy. And so she really, she helped me kind of like, or helps me with this book, like expand my vocabulary on what, like different feelings. It's like, do you know the difference between feeling like deflated and disempowered, and just understanding kind of how those, like the definitions of them, but also like how they resonate. And then she talks obviously about data and research behind those feelings and where they've come from and all that sort of stuff.
We know what I'm doing after this.
Download more audiobooks.
Literally, there's actually a hot tip I'm going to drop in here for the listeners as well. And I'm not sure if you know, but on Audible, you can purchase books. But if you have a Spotify subscription, a lot of the audiobooks are actually free within your subscription.
What?
So, yes.
I never knew that. I'm looking at my audiobooks now because I was having a mind blank.
Yeah,
but that's so good.
Yeah, a lot of people purchase them, and sometimes they're like $16, $20, $30 some books in Audible, but you can actually get them for free in your subscription, which is like, I think there's a subscription for like $12.99 in Spotify, but yeah, hot tip.
That's very good to know. Have you read the You Are a Badass by Jen?
No, that's in my books list.
Okay, no, that's really good. The Gap and the Gain I really liked by Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. It's really good as well. Okay. And then I've got a lot of books about entrepreneurship that I've been reading lately.
Yeah.
And Mindset by Dr. Carol Dweck. She's the one that like coined the term growth mindset.
Yeah.
So that one's good too.
There's Daylene's next 2 weeks sorted out. She goes through a book a day.
But that's so good. It's so good consuming beautiful books that like.
I'm trying to get a bit more intentional with listening to books though, because I can just smash them out, but then you don't really integrate. So I'm sort of like falling into this space of like actually integrating, like I did with Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Like I read that 3 times. And I did all of the workbook things in there, but now I'm like trying to slow down. But because I work alone most of the time, I've got headphones in, and sometimes, I just binge listen to audiobooks, but I need to start really integrating.
Yes.
Really learning, or else you're just listening to books and not really doing anything with them. So
totally. It's like one thing to get all that knowledge, but actually applying that knowledge is the biggest part of it. And
like what's the point listening to books or reading them if you're not really integrating the information?
And that's what I'm doing at the moment with Louise Hay's You Can Heal Your Life. I've gone back and now I'm actually doing all of the exercises along the way. So
nice.
I think it's just hard when we have kids as well. Like I listen a lot to podcasts and audiobooks, but I feel like I 3/4 of the way listen, because you're doing also like, washing and whatever else, or walking even. So it's really powerful and really good to like sit down after and do the exercises or integrate it. Somehow.
Yeah, for sure. But there could be just some things that you pull from the book if you're not really integrating and you're powering through them. If you can really integrate into a book, it just changes your whole world. So good on you, Jules, for doing that, little honey.
Good on you.
I find also that I would read a book and then 5 years later I would read it again and it'll be so different, or listen to something like a few years later, like a podcast that I often follow, and I listen to some of the episodes like a few years later, I'm like, wow, I just see different things stand out to me now in different way.
Oh, amen. Because you evolve as a human. So the information that you're probably seeking at that time, it would be different. Life's different. So
Yeah.
Yeah, different eras, different versions of yourself for sure. So you'd take different things on. But again, perfect divine timing, whatever falls into your
Written.
vortex in every given day is like meant to be. You're meant to rediscover that book again. You're meant to go back and see something that you didn't see the first time. So yeah, we are big believers in that over here.
And big believers also in reading books multiple times. Like I said, I read the Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself 3 times. And then I swear to God, that taught me how to like manifest moving to Queensland. And in that time, it was like during COVID. So everyone was saying you needed to do X, Y, Z. And I did pretty much none of that. And I literally was just honing in on what he was teaching and Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And I was like acting as though I'm already there. And
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
So Loren, how can our listeners get in touch with you? How can they connect with you? How can they work with you?
Okay, so if you go to www.tlcforworkingmums.com, you can see all the things I do and like the program that I have for my clients, which is like the Mum Career Change Program. And I offer like a complimentary like strategy session for any mum that is thinking of making a career change, knows that they want to do something different but doesn't know where to start. So I offer that for free. So you could book in via my website. And I mean, I can also give you guys a link so you can put it in the show notes as well.
Yeah.
And also I have a like free career change starter kit as well that might actually be really useful for anyone that doesn't quite yet want to have a session, but they want to understand a bit more about like how they can take the first steps to making a career change without any sort of risk or involved, from the comfort of their own home and still in their current job or whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
So I can share that as well. It's www.tlcforworkingmums.com/kit. .com/kit, but I'll give you guys a link as well. And you can check me out on Instagram as well at Loren Finger Official. And Loren is Loren. And finger is like on the hand.
We will pop it all in the show notes anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's just good sometimes when you drive and you can like listen to it, you don't have a pen or whatever, and it kind of just sticks in your head. So yeah, thank you.
Exactly.
3 tips that you could give a mum that is wanting to transition like her career and is ready to go.
I love it because you are ready to go.
Yeah, I'm here. I know the steps. I think it's just like I'm obviously studying at the moment, but
the first one is it's really important to write down what you actually want, like what's important to you right now, what are those priorities, and also understanding what your skills and your strengths are that you want to use moving forward. Because one thing with us mums and women especially is we've developed a lot of skills over time that we might be really good at but we don't actually enjoy using. So it's really important to be able to separate, okay, these are the skills I've developed over time that I don't really love to use, but these are the skills that I do and I would love to learn to use more in my future roles. And that's like, they're called motivational skills. So I would kind of assess those. And I do that with my clients. We can do a strategy session if you want. And then after that, I think what's so important is, again, one of my favorite quotes is, I don't even know if it's a quote, but it's just what I say. Action creates clarity. Like you are no amount of hypothesizing in your brain is going to get you to the career that you love. Ultimately, it's just taking action, and action not as in just like looking on a job board, because that I don't think that's the most effective job search strategy, but it's like speaking to someone in an industry that you might be interested in, attending a workshop in an area that you think, oh, this is something I could do, like, doing a little course. There's so many things you could do online that are free right now, attending like a networking event or any sort of event that is in that industry that you're interested in, just taking those next steps, because that helps you then see, like, it illuminates the path, the next step after that. So if you're feeling, lost or confused, it's the best thing is to ask yourself, like, what is the next best step that I could take? And it doesn't even need to be best step. What is the next step I could take? And then just take that step, and then take the next step, and then take the next step. Yeah.
It reminds me of us starting the podcast. We didn't know anything, and we were just like failing forward, perfect divine timing. But the things that we have learned, like you just grow as a human and your confidence grows as well, like along the way when you're trying new things, learning new things, growing through frustrations of technology.
And I
Yeah.
also, I love to say as well to my mum clients and you guys is, don't be afraid when you're feeling that self-doubt. Like self-doubt is supposed to be there. It's going to come along for the journey, or like for the ride of life. Like, you know, I do these workshops and I'm speaking to 20 or 30 people online. And at first, the first time I did it, I was like, you know, I will swear right now, but like I was like really, really like nervous and I had so much self-doubt. And then I listened to these entrepreneurs that I follow that are like 8-figure-a-year entrepreneurs and they're speaking to 10,000 people, but they're also feeling a lot of self-doubt. And I was like, I guess self-doubt never leaves you. It's like you will always have that self-doubt come along for the ride, and just don't let yourself stop the ride. You know, I kind of picture myself driving the car of life, and in my back seat is like, you know, self-doubt along with perfectionism and anxiety. And like I acknowledge when they're, you know, piping up and making some noise like kids usually do, but then I don't let them take the wheel. Otherwise we're stuffed. You know?
That's so on brand.
More confirmation that you're meant to be here with us on this podcast today, because I'll let Dayelene tell it.
We always say like sit in the passenger seat and take control of your life. Like that's just honestly.
It's going to be there. Like and if you think about from our human biology evolution, like we are actually designed like to you know, scan our environment for like threats. We are meant to feel fear, like it's trying to protect us. And also we want to evolve ourselves. So like just having that and being like, okay, I see that you're there. It's okay. Maybe what are you trying to tell me? Because that's often quite powerful as well. But like ask from like a non-judgmental, curious, compassionate way, and then just continue along.
Yeah. Amen. Because if you don't, like, you're just going to stay in your comfort zone for the rest of your life and not get the life of your dreams, because it doesn't just drop on your head.
Well, I always say it's like you choose your discomfort. Either you're in the discomfort of staying the same, or you're in the discomfort of like actually evolving yourself, doing something different, getting out your comfort zone. And I'll always choose that discomfort over staying in my own discomfort, not doing anything.
Amen. We're wired different,
Absolutely.
aren't we?
Yeah.
It's that inner drive. So you talk, Loren, so much about all of these beautiful things that you do and the coaching and, you know, the energy exchanges, plus being a mama and a wife. So what do you do for you?
I like have a coach. I get coached, and I do self-coaching. So like I've, you know, learned the tools, and I teach my clients this as well, like the tools on how to self-coach, because it helps just like clear out our minds. It's I can't even explain how important it is to manage your mindset. And I wish I had those tools earlier, because like I've had anxiety my whole life, but now I hold it with me, and I don't let it hold me back. Like I'm able to manage it in such a better way than I have in the past. Before I wake up 30-45 minutes earlier than the family, so I could do something for myself. Like I usually move my body, do a bit of a workout. And you can bet when the alarm goes off, I don't want to do it, but I'm so proud of myself after I do it, because just having that time to myself before the craziness of life starts, and knowing that I've done something good for myself that day, I try to do that as often as I can.
What do they say? Win the morning, win the day.
Yes, for sure.
I love it, all the quotes.
I love the mindful mornings. I've recently implemented that into my life as well. Just not touching technology for the first hour, you know, just doing a few things, moving your body, you know, doing a bit of journaling, whatever it is that fills that cup, filling it before you give to other people. And it is beautiful.
I agree. And I think a big part of it as well for me that I try to do, or not to, is like I'll go onto social media to create, but I try not to consume too much on social media, because I think it can, you know, even unconsciously, it can like really impact someone's mindset, and looking at all the curated stuff. And nowadays, especially, like, I have my own business, but then I look at people on there with their business profiles saying, they've got 100,000 client, 100,000 followers, they've got, like, made this amount of money, and like so much of it is just untrue as well. But like seeing that constantly, you kind of reinforce, oh wait, like that's happening for them, like what, so I think it's really important to also do a bit of a digital detox, as you say, as much as possible.
I've been talking about that a lot lately, is just that, that little detox from socials. It's so important. And there is so much misinformation or so much misleading information. Nobody ever shares completely what's going on in their lives. We've been trying a lot lately to really, to share those tough moments. I had some tough moments last week, and I was, sharing with the world, which is quite vulnerable to do. But at the same time, like, people need to know that, we're not just always like, ooh, EWP, we're so happy. Like,
Julia was in hospital yesterday and she's on the podcast today. Hello. So
yes, I am feeling better. Better. But this, it doesn't feel like, oh no, like I had to do the podcast today. It's like, oh, like that really motivated me this morning, and I was like, oh, like it feeds my soul. It fuels my soul. And I just love it. So that's why I'm still here, still showing up. I made sure to fill my cup. I had a big, I think 13-hour sleep last night. So yes, I am still here.
I think that's probably the biggest sleep we've had since Huddy's been born.
Probably. Absolutely.
Oh, so deserved and so needed. But yeah, it's so true. Like, you can open social media when you're feeling like really shit, and you're just like, oh my God, especially like being single moms, like, and we see like Mother's Day, everyone's getting like gifted everything and all the rest of it. I had a moment where I was like, oh fuck. But I still had a beautiful little card and stuff. But yeah, social media, depending on your mindset at the time and how you're feeling, can be good or bad.
Yeah. Exactly. But it's like what you said before, like even just doing like an hour of a digital detox, like for me as well, like I do not look at my phone until like the kids are at school in the mornings, because I just want to be present with them. But also before, when I'm doing my workout or whatever, I don't need that space, like that used up brain space. Like I don't want to use up my brain space for that, for the social media like stuff.
Yeah. Boundaries around phone. I'm finding it. Yeah. I've become addicted to that thing. So yeah, I need to definitely implement some things. And especially when we're networking and got the podcast and we're always talking and stuff like that. But we do we're like get away from phones for a while. So yeah.
Yeah, we've been really good about that lately, I feel like. So celebrating.
And we remind each other as well.
You get that dopamine and that serotonin boost, and for the moment it feels good, but it's really having those boundaries, because it's so accessible. Like there's so many different platforms, and
even the boundaries of like, okay, I'll go on these 2 platforms only is a beautiful boundary someone could set. Or like, and as I said, especially if you're doing your own business and collaborations and stuff, like there's one thing to go on there to create, and there's another thing to consume all the time. So it's like when you're creating, like that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Which C are you choosing? Just came into my head.
Yes. So if you haven't got healthy boundaries, I suppose this is your message to get some healthy boundaries in place, EWP listeners, around the social media, and have a little bit of a detox.
Amen.
Yeah. So Loren, we always end with 2 questions with all of our collaborations. So if you could give your younger self any piece of advice, what would it be?
Well, first of all, I would say I love you and everything hard that you go through, like it will help you be able to help others that are going through their own struggles. Like really turning pain into purpose, I think so important. Like just knowing that, I think when I was younger would have made me feel better, I guess. I think learning the tools of coaching and learning how to manage my mind in a really like empowered way. I would have suggested that. But then there's that quote that's like another quote, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So you never know, so, maybe I wasn't ready to experience like the world of coaching and really learning about my mindset and how crucial it is. But if I could tell my younger self that, it would be like, just learn it, just learn how to do it. And, your life, nothing has to change, like circumstances, nothing has to change, but everything changes when your mind, when you can, manage your mindset.
Amen. And the second question is, if there was someone listening right now that's putting off their dreams, what advice would you give them?
I think for me, the big thing that we kind of mentioned before is if the reason why you're not chasing your dreams is because you're doubting yourself and your ability to do it. So I think knowing that if you're feeling self-doubt, you are on the right track. Like that's and feeling self-doubt is not a reason to not do something. Like it's not a reason to stop. I even have a podcast episode on this. I think it's episode 6. But anyway, but I think self-doubt, like if you are, stepping out of your comfort zone, you're going to feel self-doubt, and that's okay. Like, it's always going to be there and come along for the ride. Like we had that analogy, like in the car. And, self-doubt is like understanding also that self-doubt, like when you feel it, often nothing has actually gone wrong. You're just doubting yourself before you've even taken any action. So knowing that like it's a choice that you're making to think thoughts that make you feel self-doubt. And it's like, I love to say this, if you doubt yourself so much, if you love doubting yourself so much, try doubting your self-doubt. Because then if you can like reframe self-doubt, because it's always going to be there, then nothing will stop, like you'll be limitless. Like else is going to stop you from chasing your dreams.
Amen. And imagine if we put so much energy into actually believing in ourselves rather than doubting ourselves, like the mountains we would move, honestly.
Totally. You can choose to doubt yourself or evolve yourself. And so it's like, choose the latter, it's.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah.
Oh, what a beautiful episode.
Yeah, I loved it. People underestimate how much just literally talking to yourself and, saying things out loud. Like sometimes if I'm having a hard parenting moment, come on, Jules, you've got this. Like people underestimate how powerful that really is.
It is so powerful. Like being able to talk to yourself in a way that's like empowering and kind and compassionate and like being your own cheerleader is so important. And I don't think we're just so used to being mean to ourselves, I think, so much, and like being so self-deprecating or whatever, and like we would never speak to someone else how we usually often speak to ourselves. So just being aware of that is huge.
That's there's another quote. Oh my God, we're going to be going.
I think our whole thing's just a string of quotes.
Yeah, we just do quotes by us. Talk to yourself as though you would talk to your best friend. And it's so true, like be encouraging, especially in those moments where you feel crap. And you can just let the negative thoughts just go over and over and over in your head. But yeah, would you talk to your best friend like that if she was feeling down? No. So don't do it to yourself.
Exactly. And also when you're thinking all those negative thoughts, like we need to understand that those are not facts. They're just these like recycled thoughts in our brain that aren't even truth. And so when the worst part of it is often we attach to a negative thought and we like hold on to it even though it's just not the truth. Or we like we criticize ourselves for having those negative thoughts. So we like compound negativity on negativity. And just knowing that like, no, those are just thoughts in my mind. Like I like saying they're sentences in my mind. They don't hold any truth, and I can choose to believe them or not.
Yeah, get in the back seat.
Get in the back seat.
Be quiet.
So true. Oh, what a beautiful episode. I feel like there were so many hot tips, a lot of quotes. And we're really looking forward to coming on and collaborating with you on your podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, stay tuned, EWP listeners. We will drop when we head over to Loren's podcast so you guys can have a listen there.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming on.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome. It was such a beautiful chat with you guys.
Our pleasure.
Thanks so much for listening in to the EWP.
Bye, beautiful humans.
Bye.
We hope you feel inspired to take back your power. Thank you for listening into the EWP Potty with Jules and Day. We want to challenge you to share this potty with someone you love. Let's get all women involved. Follow us on Insta at empoweringwomen_project. Facebook and TikTok at Empowering Women Project.
We invite you to interact with us on our socials, our threads, and in our DMs. We are open to collaborating and invite you to reach out if you feel inspired to be a guest on our EWP podcast. Remember, you are the creator of your reality. We encourage you to start believing in yourself and the magic of the universe.